I am Kimberly Rose Diaz, ABS Ed 4 major in English student, and today I will be showing my final demonstration teaching with the subject English 8 with the topic types of irony. And here is my detailed lesson plan. Please all stand for a prayer.
Our loving and generous God, we praise and thank you for the bountiful blessings you have given us. Thank you for giving us a mind that can know and a heart that can love. Thank you for giving us a chance to continue learning amidst the pandemic that had caused a lot of changes in our lives. We are sorry for the times we have failed you. We humbly ask for your forgiveness. Father, help us stay focused on our studies. When learning becomes difficult, grant us the gifts of courage and enthusiasm. Grant us the grace to use our knowledge in making a difference into the lives of the people around us. All this we pray in your mighty name. Amen.
Okay, good morning class. Please be seated. How is everyone today? Alright, very good. I can see a lot of happy faces today. Good job everyone. So is there anybody who is absent? Okay, very good. So class, what was our lesson yesterday? Alright, definition of irony. Then who wants to define what is irony? Yes, Mika. Very good. Any other answers, class? Yes, Florence. Alright, correct. Okay, Eden, you're raising your hand. Very good. Okay, class, is there any question or clarifications about our past lesson? Alright, before we proceed to our topic, I have here pictures, and in each picture, you will identify what you observe. Let's see in the first picture, class. Yes, Leslie. Alright, it's raining. Very good. How about I will insert a caption, what a lovely day we're having. Yes, it's being sarcastic. Alright, how about the second picture? Yes, Iclarin. Okay, the cup is broken and it has a word, quality. How about its caption? Well, it did not say good quality. Alright, it is contradicting to the word on it. Next, we have third picture. Yes, Gretchen. There is a dramatization. So there is a dramatic scenery on it. How about this one? Yes, Brian. Okay, the delivery man of Pepsi is drinking a Coke. How ironic, right? The last picture. Yes, Rex. Alright, very good. So class, based on your observations, what did you notice on the picture? Yes, Camille. Alright, class, the pictures I presented earlier contains the different types of irony. Our topic for today are types of irony. Okay, class, I have here 3 YouTube videos about the types of irony that I will play to you. I have here a handout that you will use to take note on each of the 3 types of irony.
Picture this. Your friend and you are watching a sitcom, and the sassy sidekick walks into a room carrying a 4-tiered wedding cake. He trips, falls, and faceplants into the cake. Your friend doubles over with laughter and says, "So ridiculous! So ironic!" Well, quick, what do? Do you laugh along with the laugh track and let this grievous misinterpretation of irony go? Or do you throw caution to the wind and explain the true meaning of irony? If you're me, you choose the latter. Unfortunately, irony has been completely misunderstood. We tend to throw out that term whenever we see something funny or coincidental. And while many examples of true irony can be funny, that is not the driving factor of being ironic. A situation is only ironic if what happens is the exact opposite of what was expected. If you expect A, but get B, then you have irony. Let's take the slapstick cake situation as an example. When someone walks in, precariously balancing something that shouldn't be carried alone, trips, falls, and makes a mess, it is funny, but it's not ironic. In fact, you probably expect someone who is single-handedly carrying a huge cake to trip. When he does, reality aligns with expectations, and so that is not irony. But what if the sassy sidekick walked in wearing a gold medal that he'd won at the cakewalking event at the Atlanta Olympics in 1996? What if that sidekick was a professional cake carrier? Then, maybe there would have been a reasonable expectation that he would have been more skilled when carrying a ridiculously large cake. Then, when that reasonable expectation was not met by the tripping sidekick, irony would have been exemplified. Another example. A senior citizen texting and blogging. The common and reasonable expectation of more mature men and women is that they don't like or know technology, that they have a hard time turning on a computer, or that they have the old brick cell phones from the 1980s. One should not expect them to be connected, high-tech, or savvy enough to text or to be blogging, which must seem like some sort of newfangled thing that, back in my day, they never had. So when Granny pulls out her smartphone to post pictures of her dentures or her grandkids, irony ensues. Reasonable expectations of the situation are not met. That is irony. So while the cake dropper might not be ironic, there are all kinds of situations in life that are. Go out and find those true examples of irony. Great weather we're having. Awesome job. You're a tremendous athlete. Compliments, right? Well, maybe. Depending on the attitude and tone of voice behind these lines, they very well may be compliments. They may also be, though, pointed and attacking lines. This slight change of attitude behind the lines reveals what we call verbal irony. So when someone says, "Great weather we're having," it is quite possible that person really means that. If the sun is shining, the birds are singing, and the wind is calm. But if the weather is horrible, the clouds are looming, and the wind is a raging tempest, and someone says, "Great weather we're having," he probably doesn't actually mean that. He probably means that the weather is horrible, but he has said the opposite. This is verbal irony, when the speaker says the opposite of what he means. I know what you're thinking. Isn't this sarcasm? Isn't the speaker being sarcastic? Yes. When a speaker says the opposite of what he means, that is verbal irony. When the speaker then goes the step farther to mean the opposite of what he says and seeks to be a little pointed and mean, like he's making fun of something, then you have sarcasm. Take the second example. Awesome job! Someone accomplishing his lifelong dream? Awesome. Someone winning a sports championship? Awesome. Someone rear-ends another car? Not awesome. So when the passenger says, awesome job, they probably mean the opposite with a hint of poking fun. That is verbal irony, and that is sarcastic. You're a talented athlete. Said to an Olympian? Authentic. No verbal irony present. Said to the klutzy kid tripping into English class and spilling his books and pencil case all over the room? Now that's just harsh and verbally ironic, because what you said is not what you meant. That is verbal irony. You have said the opposite of what you mean. Additionally, since you have the intention of mocking this poor person, you have been not only verbally ironic, but sarcastic as well. Beware, though. While all sarcasm fits the definition of verbal irony, not all verbal irony is sarcastic. Verbal irony is where what is meant is the opposite of what is said, while sarcasm adds that little punch of attitude. There are times, though, where another layer of meaning can be present without that sarcastic tone. All right, now go out there and find those examples of verbal irony and sarcasm. Good luck. No, seriously, I mean it. Good luck. No, really, I truly want to wish you luck on this difficult task. Okay, sincerely, good luck. You can do it. No verbal irony here. What do horror movies and comedies have in common? The two genres might seem totally different, but the reason they're both so popular is perhaps because of what they have in common: their use of dramatic irony. First, let's clarify. There are three types of irony out there. Situational irony is when you expect one thing but get the opposite. Verbal irony is when someone says something but truly means the opposite. Dramatic irony, though, is what we'll be looking at right now. Dramatic irony is when the audience seems to know more about an event, a situation, or a conversation than the characters in the movie, on the show, or in the book do. The audience is in on a secret that the characters have missed. This is a great storytelling device that creates tremendous emotion within that text. Think about it for a moment. How does it feel when, in a horror film, you know that the scary villain is hiding behind that door in the darkened room? The music becomes eerie, the lighting creates complete shadows. This has to be bad for the hero. Of course, though, that hero must enter the room to find the villain. You feel tremendous tension and the suspense of knowing that someone will jump out and be scary, but you just don't know when. That tension is dramatic irony. You know something more than the characters in the film. Now, take the typical comedy. There will probably be some type of misunderstanding. Again, we know more of what is going on than the characters do. Picture two characters making a plan for a birthday surprise for their roommate, while that roommate overhears the entire conversation from the hallway. From there, confusion and misunderstanding occur, and the tension builds. This isn't the same tension as the horror film, since it is probably pretty funny as the characters try to figure out the who's and the what's. But it serves as a great example of the tension and suspense of dramatic irony. This tension or suspense in both genres drives the story and keeps the plot progressing. The audience needs to see the tension of the dramatic irony broken either by the scary person jumping out of the shadows or by someone finally revealing someone's true identity and clearing up the confusion. So when you feel like you are in on a secret, that is dramatic irony, a hallmark of all the great writers from Shakespeare to Hitchcock.
So class, who wants to share his or her notes? Okay, Agnes, please. Very good. How about the others? Yes, Mike. All right, excellent. So very good. So class, situational irony. This is a play when an expected outcome is subverted. For example, in O. Henry's classic tale, The Gift of the Magi, a wife cuts off her long hair to sell it in order to buy her husband a chain for his prized watch. Meanwhile, the husband has sold his watch in order to buy his wife a comb for her hair. The situational irony comes from each person not expecting to have their gift be undercut by the other's actions. Verbal irony, this is a statement in which the speaker means something very different from what he or she is saying. Think of the knight in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. With both his arms sliced off, he says, nonchalantly, "It's just a flesh wound." He is ironically or comically underplaying the severity of his injury. And dramatic irony class is also known as tragic irony. This is when a writer lets her reader know something that a character does not. For example, when the reader knows that the bus roaring down the highway is headed for an elevated freeway junction that hasn't been completed yet, it fills the audience with anticipation and dread for what they know is coming, the passenger's horror and shock. In Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, each young lover takes the poison, thinking the other is already dead. The dramatic irony comes from the audience wanting them to know the whole story before taking this final action. Alright class, is there any questions? Alright, now you identified and defined the 3 types of irony, so let's proceed. I have here an idea about the common purpose of irony. Afterwards, anybody can share his or her thoughts or experiences on this idea. So the common purpose of irony is to create humor or point out the absurdity of life. Life has a way of contradicting our expectations, often in painful ways. Irony generally makes us laugh even when the circumstances are tragic. The contrast between people's expectations and the reality of the situations are not only funny but also meaningful because it calls our attention to how wrong human beings can be. Irony is best when it points us towards deeper meanings of a situation. Any thoughts or experiences? Yes, Camille. All right. Great. Thank you for that, Camille. Anyone? No one? It's okay. So class, earlier you watched the videos about the different types of irony. Is there any questions about the 3 types of irony? No questions, class? Okay, class, make sure you understood all of it. I'll post the videos in our Google Classroom so that you can watch again and review each type of irony. Since you have no questions, we will read a short story about the Cask of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe. After that, you select one type of irony and a piece of evidence to show the type of irony in the short story. You can write it on a piece of paper so that you can share it after the class. Alright class, are you done? Okay. So John, can you share your answer? Yes, please. Okay, that's right. Make sure class that you're taking down notes. Next. Yes, Rose. Please share your answer. Okay, very good. Thank you, Rose and John, for sharing your answer. Okay, class, I will group you into 2. I want you to write a short journal entry explaining where you see irony in the world around you. I will give you 15 minutes to answer, and each group will share their group answers into the class. I will provide each group a rubric. Is everything clear? Alright, very good. Okay class, is everybody done? Okay, each group will have a representative to present their answers. Group 1, you may present your answers, followed by Group 2. Alright, excellent everyone. So class, I guess you can now identify and define what are the types of irony. So again, class, what are the 3 types of irony? Yes, Cheryl. Very good. Who wants to define each type? Yes, Isa. Alright, very good. Now who can give examples to each type of irony? Yes, Gretchen. Alright, very good class. I am rest assured that you understood our lesson for today. Okay class, let's do a short exercise. You can write your answer on a 1/4 sheet of paper. Identify the type of irony in the following statements. Each statement is equivalent to 5 points. Okay class, are you done? Alright, let's answer each statement. Please exchange with your seatmate. Number 1, if you have a phobia of long words, you must tell people that you are hippopotamonstroses kipedaliophobic. Who wants to answer? Yes, Claire. Yes, correct. It is situational. It is ironic that people who have a fear of long words must say such a long word. It seems that as if the people who invented the word did it on purpose. Number 2, mother. I see you ironed your shirt, boy, but I just dug it out of the bottom of the hamper. Yes, May. Exactly, verbal. The mother is being ironic in that she is pointing out that the boy's shirt is terribly wrinkled. She is being sarcastic in order to make her point. Third, a rat infestation at the Department of Sanitation. Who wants to answer? Yes, Jenny. Alright, situational. One does not expect that an agency that works to keep things clean would have a rodent infestation. Fourth, a person tweets about how Twitter is a waste of time and energy. Yes, Rose Jen. Very good. Situational. It is ironic that someone who hates Twitter so much would use the Twitter platform to share with others with how useless Twitter is. If the person thought it was such a waste of time, why are they using Twitter, right? The last number, you comment on the beautiful weather you have been having just 5 minutes before a tornado rips through your house. Okay, Eden, please. Yes, you're right, situational. This is terribly ironic because the tornado was not expected, and in fact, you commented just how beautiful it has been. So class, who got 25 points? 24, 23, 22, 21. Alright, very good. Please pass your papers to the front. So for assignment class, I want you to read the story of 3 Little Pigs and identify the verbal, situational, and dramatic irony therein. You can write your answers on your English notebook. We will discuss your answers in our next meeting. That's all for today, class. Goodbye.